What if protecting your attention isn't avoidance? What if it's actually care? What if choosing not to consume everything available to you isn't ignorance, but a choice of intention? I've been sitting with that lately because I think we've been taught that more awareness always equals better. Okay, one more video, one more tutorial, and then I'll be able to do this, right? But I'm not sure that that is always true. Welcome back, friend, to Loose Threads and Stitches. I'm Kristen. I'm your host today from ISeeStarsQuilting.com, and we are settling into a bit of a heart-to-heart, the kind that you can stitch along to or just have a quiet moment and breathe to. This is episode 8 of the Enough chapter, and this is a space where we've been gently exploring the pressure to always take in more, to do more, to be more. We've talked about moving targets, we've talked about capacity, we've talked about the stories that we carry, we've talked about play, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit quieter: attention. Not in a big, crazy, dramatic way, just in the way that it shows up in your everyday life. And before we go any further, if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, please, so you don't miss the rest of these series or the fun quilting videos that I share on my channel as well. If this episode encourages you, would you take a second and leave a 5-star review for me on Apple or Spotify? It is under Loose Threads and Stitches, and it helps other quilters find our cute little cozy corner on the internet. And if you're on YouTube, do me a favor, leave me some comments. I read every single one, and I love to hear from you. Okay, let's dive into the weight of constant access. We live in a time of constant access, informations, opinions, updates, comparison, opportunities, all of it. Probably even this podcast even right now, right there in your hand, all the time. And access itself isn't the problem, but exposure accumulates because your nervous system doesn't always separate what is urgent from what's simply present. So when everything is in front of you, it can all start to feel important, right? And when everything feels important, it starts to feel necessary. There's also this quiet pressure to stay current and understand every angle, to keep up with every shift, to know what's happening everywhere. And curiosity is a good thing. I really believe that. I love to stay curious. I love to encourage my kids to stay curious. Like, do not for one second think that you have all of life figured out, because believe me, that's when the world knows and it starts to come and teach you more lessons, right? But I've noticed that curiosity can slowly turn into obligation. Like, I really should know about, blank, whatever this is, XYZ. I should stay informed on what's happening over here. I should keep up. And that should, it adds weight. And weight over time turns into exhaustion, because we are simply not meant to operate like a computer. Okay, we are not meant to know absolutely everything at every single moment in time. We're not meant to just have that attention span, right? Because attention is finite, even if it doesn't feel like it. Every headline, every scroll, every piece of information, it costs something. It doesn't cost money. It costs bandwidth. And when your bandwidth is full, everything feels so much louder, so much more urgent, and so much more overwhelming, even small things. And I've noticed this in my own life. Many of you know that I have been recovering from a really, really bad concussion that happened early on in December, and I'm still in recovery mode for it. I was not prepared for this at all. It was a total accident, total fluke, but it's taken a long time. And because the concussion was really bad, I ended up falling into the category of people who take a lot longer to heal. I've really, really had to monitor what I am doing every single day, because every single thought, every single action, everything that I'm, scrolling or reading or trying to remember to do, making dinner, making grocery lists, all this stuff, it all takes chunks out of your bandwidth. And when that bandwidth is gone, that bandwidth is gone. Like, there's no magical fairy that's going to be there to fill it up again, right? So as I've noticed this in my own life, when I reduce input, even just a little bit, something shifts, okay? It's not out there in the world that something shifts. It's something inside me that shifts. My thoughts feel a whole lot less crowded. I can tell you that from having to reduce my own input and my own output, rather, I guess. I don't know, all of those things I've had to reduce. I've noticed that things feel a whole lot less crowded. I feel a lot less reactive, and I feel a lot less pulled in every single direction. And my creativity has come back a lot easier than some of the other skills that I wish would come, but my creativity has come back, and that is something that I've really taken joy in. It's things are quieter but stronger inside me. And there have been those days where I didn't realize how overwhelmed I felt until I stepped away from the noise. And suddenly, after you give it some time, it felt like my brain could breathe again, and like I could hear my own thoughts. Now, I'm telling you this because I really do not wish anybody else to go through the experience of a traumatic brain injury like I have gone through. And to those of you who have kept up with me and who have asked very politely, like, for updates on how I'm doing and stuff, I appreciate that so much. I am getting better. Slowly. It's not just like a take a nap and you'll be better thing. It's taking a long time, but it is moving in the right direction, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So I don't wish for you to go through that, but I wish for you to have this kind of like peak moment of clarity that I've had, because I remember thinking, it wasn't everything that was too much. It was that I was holding too much myself. I was expecting myself to be able to hold all of these things. And while it feels like the norm, the human body is not meant to do that, okay? Like, it's not meant to, even though it feels like what's expected of you in today's time, and it feels like what you should be doing to keep up with all of these, like, multiple schedules and different projects and work. And even if you're retired, you still have things that you're working on and projects that you're doing and ways of taking care of yourself and other obligations that you have. And not to mention, like, if we bring into like the news and everything, but if you're trying to keep up with all of that stuff too, like, it gets really exhausting. So when I say curated innocence, I don't mean pretending the world is simple. I don't mean ignoring reality. I mean choosing not to rehearse everything that you're offered, because you can be informed without being saturated. You can care about things in this world without carrying every single detail. You can know that something exists without making it a part of your daily mental diet. Okay, that's not denial. That's not stewardship. That's not living in, I often like to tell myself that, like, I'm living in my own little curated bubble. Okay, like, I'm very selective about the things that come into my bubble, not just because of the concussion and that recovery, but just in general, because it's really hard to deal with. When you have too much going on and there's certain things that you just have no control over. So it's recognizing that your mind has limits, your body has limits, your stress level has limits, and it's honoring them. Okay? So think about your creative space. When you sit down to quilt, okay, you don't dump every single fabric that you own onto the table at once. Okay, you may have a shelf with all of your fabrics on it, but you're not going to take that entire shelf and dump it onto the table at once. You don't bring in every single color, every single idea, every single possibility that is out there in the infinite time and space all at the same time. You choose, you curate, you decide what belongs in that moment, in that project. And that's why it can feel calm when you're creating. That's why it feels focused. That's why it feels like a place where you can breathe and just enjoy. So maybe your attention in other areas of your life deserve that same kind of care. Not everything gets a seat at your table, okay? Not everything is allowed in your own little curated bubble, okay? And you are allowed to choose that guest list at your table. You're allowed to choose what comes in and what, has to stay on the outside. Even if it's temporary, you don't have to kick things out of your life or out of your bubble or out of your table, whatever metaphor works for you forever, okay? If you are wanting to create more of that calm, intentional space, whether it's in your sewing room or your creative rhythm, I do have some printables in my shop that are designed to help you stay organized, focused, and inspired without the overwhelm. They are there if you need a little bit of support. I encourage you to go over and check those out and just see if something feels like it could help you. I've written all of those guides for myself. Okay, and then I want to offer them to other quilters out there who could use some organization and some help. And I love to be productive, but like smart productive, not like every single area of my life is 100% perfectly taken care of. But at any given moment in time, I do have certain sections that are looking, pretty good. Okay. So I created these tools for myself and I'm sharing them with you in my shop. I will leave a link in the show notes to this podcast down below. So make sure you go check those out. So if you've been feeling overstimulated or scattered lately, like your mind just won't settle, like I can't even believe that we're at this point in the year already. Like it's like so much time has felt like it's just rushed past. Okay. Before assuming that something is wrong with you or that like you can't life right now, right? Like you can't get it together. I want you to pause and gently ask, what am I consuming right now? What is coming at me that I'm absorbing? Is it necessary? Is all of it helpful to me? And are these burdens that I feel that I'm carrying, are they mine to carry? Because I can tell you right now, not everything is yours to carry, okay? While you may be the glue that holds your family together, you are not the only sticky source in your family. There are other people who can pull things together, okay? They may have to be taught how to pull them together, but you are not to carry everything, okay? Not everything is yours to process. Not everything is yours to hold. And letting some things pass by, it doesn't make you careless. It makes you wise. And, we've all heard those stories of like learning to say no, not saying yes to everything because you feel like you have to. And I always thought that was so hard because I am very much like, I love to help. I love to get involved in things and it excites me. It makes me feel happy. And I mean, until, of course, the point where like my calendar is maxed out, I'm very overwhelmed. I can't do anything but like cry and sleep at night because I just don't have the energy for it. That's when things get like way too much, right? And then it's not fun. I started practicing where I would save a night or two a week that is just for me and my family. And, we know that nothing ever gets scheduled on Friday nights in our house. It's just kind of like this. It does happen randomly, okay? But it's just kind of this unspoken rule that we've been doing for years now, where nothing gets scheduled on Friday nights because that's family time. So, that has given me space to say no to things that I would have normally said yes, absolutely to. Okay. And it allows me that time to rest and to keep that peace in my heart. So here's something to sit with this week. What would it look like to reduce just a little bit of noise? Not everything. I mean, you cannot go from like full volume to absolute silence overnight. Just one input, one habit, or one space that is consuming you. What might open up if you did? Okay, you are allowed to reduce noise. You are allowed to protect your attention. You are allowed to curate what enters your space, your bubble, your sanctuary, whatever you want to call it. Not because you're avoiding the world, because I truly believe that artists and quilters especially, you have this beautiful heart and this vision for seeing the beauty in the world. Okay, when you make a quilt, you are curating the world around you. You are putting beauty into the world on purpose. You're making the world a better place. Now, I think that you build the life that you want to live, right? And like I said, quilters and artists, you have this spark in you, not because you're avoiding the world, right? But because you're caring for yourself inside it. You know, you're building that world that you want to live in, because peace, it doesn't happen by accident anymore. Not in the world that we live in today. It requires intention, and your mind, your creativity, your nervous system, all of those things working together are worth protecting. Not everything needs your attention in this world. Not everything deserves your energy in this world. And choosing that and being aware of that is not a weakness. It's wisdom. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, friend. If this episode encouraged you, it would mean the world to me if you gave it a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, or shared it with a quilting friend. Okay, just hit that share button and send it to somebody who needs to hear these words today, who needs a little bit of peace and comfort, or maybe just like send it to them and say, hey, take a cup of tea and sit for a few minutes and just listen to this. All right. So I have enjoyed this chat with you today. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I'm Kristen with ISeeStarsQuilting.com. Thank you so much for listening to the Loose Threads and Stitches podcast. Keep stitching, keep creating, and keep shining, my friend. I love you. Have a good day. Bye.